Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So we do know basically now that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is officially, the club's full-time manager, of course, as well, which is very, very good news indeed, because we've had a great 3 month or so period under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The results have been good, the performances have been very, very good indeed, and he has given everybody the chance, to express themselves and prove themselves and all that as well, and it is good that Solskjaer has got a lot of belief in the young players, of course, as well. So we do know now he has got the job full time as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which is very, very good. It is a 3 year deal. He's currently signed. His annual wage is 7.5 million, of course, as well. And this does mean now he will earn more than Liverpool's Jurgen Klopp. He will earn more than Chelsea's Maurizio Sarri, and he's currently on more than Arsenal's Unai Emery, of course, as well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So basically, this is a big pay rise, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, compared to what he was on at Mould, because he was on like £400,000 a year with Mould as well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But the more this is the testing out for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. Now that he has got the job full time, of course, it is a 3 year contract term he's currently signed. So can he get us back, the way we was under Alex Ferguson, when we had 26, 27 great years under Alex Ferguson. Obviously, it is essential that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, gets the right players to Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. We do know that players are also going to leave Manchester United this summer as well. There's still some contract renewals to sort out as well, but it is essential that we get the right players this summer, and reportedly we're going to get around 200 odd million pounds to spend this summer, of course, and I think Solskjaer wants to bring about 3 or 4 players in to Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. So I think he's identified the areas where he thinks Manchester United need to strengthen up, and of course we do know we have got some quality in our team, and we have got some good players in that team, but we do potentially need a right winner. We need someone young and ambitious on that right hand side. We definitely need a central defender, of course, as well, that can partner alongside Victor Lindelof. I think on the left hand side we're okay on that left hand side, because that's where the majority of the attack is coming from as well. Of course, we know the club are still looking to hire a director of football to come in. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, has been in regular, regular talks, with Ed Woodward, about the club's summer transfer plans, what players should come in, what players, should go in the summer as well. But obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is hoping now he can get us back to being a competitive elite level football club, of course, as well, and he can get us back, challenging for trophies and winning major honours, of course, as well. So if we get the right players in the summer, Manchester United, can possibly be title contenders for the new season, of course, as well. But this is the testing out for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, for the remainder of this season, of who we can get in the summer as well. And of course, going on to next season as well, he's going to be a tester for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course. But he's delighted that he's got the job on a full-time basis, of course. Obviously, we do know that he's receiving half of the wages than what currently Jose Mourinho was on, because Jose Mourinho was on £15 million per year. So Solskjaer's happy to accept a less wage package. Solskjaer is receiving half of the wages than what currently Jose Mourinho was on, of course. But it's essential that we've got to have a good summer transfer window, because we didn't get anyone in the January window. Obviously, we had a disappointing window last summer, of course, as well, because we didn't get our priority targets, of course, as well. But definitely, Solskjaer, the right man for Manchester United. Despite the back-to-back defeats, we suffered, before the international break, of course. Overall, we've done very, very well. Won 14 out of 19 in all competitions, of course. He won his first 8 games, when he came in as well. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the results have been really, really good. The performances, more or less, have been very, very good indeed. Performing a miraculous comeback against PSG, winning the likes of Arsenal away, Chelsea away in the Cup, winning at Tottenham away as well. So he's done more than enough, to deserve this job as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. So it's a 3 year deal, and his annual wage is 7.5 million, of course, as well. And, depending on how he does in this 3 year period, if he does really, really well, obviously then Manchester United, will obviously, probably, give him another contract, of course, as well. But definitely the right man for Manchester United, of course. As I did say, players are going to leave Manchester United this summer, of course. Obviously, we know overall, since Alex Ferguson's retired, that Manchester United, have invested a hell of a lot of money. We must have spent about, is it £700 million or something like that since Ferguson retired. Since Ferguson retired, we've had different, we've had different managers, with different philosophies and all that as well. Spent a lot of money, of course, but obviously, we've seen players come in, we've seen players leave and all that as well. But obviously now, this is our 4th permanent manager now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, since Ferguson's retired. So he's still in the process of rebuilding his Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And reportedly, we've got a board that can invest, of who Solskjaer, wants to bring to Manchester United this summer as well. And I think he's keen on adding depth in that midfield, depending what happens with Ander Herrera, of course, because his future is up in the air at the moment. We've yet to come to an agreement, to get him a new contract. We're not sure what's happening with Paul Pogba yet, but the style of play is absolutely fantastic. And we've had a great 3 months under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's obviously, his experience has been fantastic so far. He's been working, he's enjoying working along, he's enjoying working with the coaches, the players and the staff and all that as well. And he's really, really enjoying it as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And don't forget, he was a great, great player for 11 years at Manchester United. Of course, won a lot of silverware. One of his most iconic moments as a player was in 1999, when he won us the treble, of course, as well. But yeah, he's a great, great player for 11 years, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all know. Obviously, he managed the Manchester United reserve team as well, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all know, for a couple of years and all that. And he hasn't really had any long tenures as manager at the moment, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So hopefully he can elevate us to that higher level and he can get us back to being a competitive elite level football club, of course, as well. Maybe some people think it's the wrong decision that Manchester United have made, giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the job on a full-time basis, of course, as well. But I think we must have paid a compensation package to Mould of around £8 million, or something like that, as well. But yeah, I think he's definitely the right man for Manchester United. Some people say, he should be given around £300 million to spend this summer, of course, as well. But anyway, going into the summer transfer window, of course, as well as I've been updating you on, I think Solskjaer has got the 3 top targets. I think he's actually notified, Ed Woodward about this, to be quite honest with you, his 3 top targets, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has told Ed Woodward that he wants Crystal Palace's Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he wants West Ham's Declan Rice, and he wants Borussia Dortmund's Jadon Sancho. And obviously, he's the club's #1 priority target, of course, is Jadon Sancho. Obviously, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a right back for Crystal Palace. Declan Rice is a defensive midfielder for West Ham. Well, he actually can play as a centre back as well. And Jadon Sancho is a winner. Of course, they're all upcoming futures as well. All 3 players, because obviously they're all very, very young. And I do think they've got the ability to to elevate Manchester United forward in the next 2 to 3 years, or something like that as well. But obviously they're all English as well. So Solskjaer wants England's hottest prospects this summer. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a Crystal Palace fullback. Of course, I think he's valued at around £40 million, something like that. But it did say for the trio, it could cost Manchester United in total of around £170 million for Wan-Bissaka, Declan Rice and Jadon Sancho, of course, as well. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka would be a good upgrade for Ashley Young and Valencia and all that, because he is a right back, of course, as well as Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and he is young. Of course, he's only 21 years of age at the moment. He spent his entirety of his career, with Crystal Palace, of course, as well. Obviously, risen up their youth system. He's been in the senior squad a couple of years now. Made his senior debut in February of last year, as well, for Crystal Palace. I think he's valued at around £40 million, something like that. I think his defensive capabilities are supposed to be very, very good, indeed. But obviously, with Valencia on his way out of Manchester United this summer, of course, as well, because obviously we've opted against that decision, to give him that new 1-year contract extension. This is what his 10th season now at Manchester United. Is Antonio Valencia. He's made over 300 other appearances in all competitions, of course, as well. As well, I think he's available for Saturday Valencia, but obviously it's unlikely he will play. But he's set to leave on a free transfer in the summer. And he's 33 years of age now. He's Antonio Valencia, of course, as well. Obviously we've got Ashley Young as well. Our first choice right back, of course, as well. Now and again, we've rotated him on the left hand side. We know mainly Ashley Young is actually right winger, but obviously his most recent, we operate Ashley Young as a right back. I think he'll probably leave, when his 1-year contract extension expires. To be quite honest with you, but by the time it expires, Ashley Young will be nearly 35 years of age, of course, as well. So in my opinion, we'll probably do potentially, need a right back, to be quite honest with you. So do you think Aaron Wan-Bissaka, would be the perfect candidate for Manchester United, of course? Well, so he's one of our priority targets. West Ham's Declan Rice is being mentioned as well. I think he's 20 years of age. Is Declan Rice. I think he's mainly a holding midfielder. Is Declan Rice, to be quite honest with you, but he actually can operate as a centre back. And Declan Rice, I think it wasn't too long ago he signed a new deal with West Ham till 2024, of course, as well. I think West Ham, will sanction him off, if Manchester United, are willing to meet what they're demanding. I think it did mention in the press that he's valued at around £40 million, is Declan Rice. Reportedly, he's had a great season with West Ham this season, as well. Obviously, his course, he is English as well, so he's one of England's youngest upcoming prospects, as well, is Declan Rice. But he is under contract with West Ham until 2024. Of course, he's an ex-Chelsea player, as well, so reportedly, we've been interested in him. And I did say we need a defensive midfield, of course, that's fast and tenacious, of course, as well. And I think it would be a good upgrade for the likes of Nemanja Matic, because Matic is aging up now. Even though he's improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Nemanja Matic, I've still got reservations about him because he's very slow. And I do think we need a defensive midfielder, centre defensive mid that's fast and tenacious, of course, as well. But I think Solskjaer, from his own perspective, is keen on adding depth in that midfield. And I think he's keen on bringing central midfielder in, depending what happens with Ander Herrera, of course, as well. But we do know the club's #1 priority target, of course, is Jadon Sancho, because I did mention to you guys. Obviously, we need someone that can play between the bylines, put crosses into the box and, shows that ability to attack, scores goals, provides that width very, very well. And Jadon Sancho, can do this, of course, because he's proven it fantastically well in Germany. He's been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of years now as Jadon Sancho, as we all know. He is under contract with Dortmund until 2022. We do know, guys, that there has been a narrative going about it for at least the last 5 weeks now, that Man United have been heavily linked with him. He's our top priority target for this summer. Is our top priority target for this summer, as well as Jadon Sancho, but he's under contract with Dortmund until 2022. Dortmund paid, £8 million for Manchester City a couple of years back as well, but I think it could still cost Manchester United a nine-figure sum of around £100 million, and this is what Borussia Dortmund, may demand that they want for Jadon Sancho, but Manchester United may still believe we can land him for around £80 million, but either way, this would make him the most expensive English footballer ever, of course, as well. As I did say, Borussia Dortmund, have been known for doing business with their players, as we all know as well. But he's young. He's only just recently, turned 19 years of age, of course, as well. He's attracted interest, from quite a few teams across Europe as Jadon Sancho. So we do need someone young and ambitious on that right-hand side. And Jadon Sancho's 19, and his performances for Borussia Dortmund have been fantastic indeed as well. But potentially, if we were to get him, it'd make him the most expensive English footballer ever, and it'd obviously, make him our most expensive sign. And we do know we've got the financial power, of course, to meet Jadon Sancho's, valuation as well. Borussia Dortmund, probably wouldn't want to lose him, because Borussia Dortmund do know how much of an essential player he is to their team as well. But obviously, he's had experience of playing in English football, because he did serve a couple of years with Manchester City, of course, as well. So the young, upcoming England's young trio of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Declan Rice of West Ham, and Jadon Sancho of Borussia Dortmund could reportedly cost Manchester United in total of around £170 million, and reportedly that they are our top three targets, as reports do currently mention as well, because Solskjaer's told Ed Wood and the board, that's the players he wants at Manchester United this summer as well. So I think Solskjaer's looking on getting about 3 or 4 new additions to Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. And obviously, we do know, that players are going to be leaving Manchester United this summer, as I've already updated you on. Reports came out before saying that Solskjaer wants to sell around 3 players, of course, as well. Obviously, Valencia were mentioned. I think Marcus Rojo's on his way out with the club as well, because he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player. Struggled to get a run of games under his belt. He's suffered a string of injuries as well, and mainly he hasn't been first choice anyway. So I think Rojo's on his way out anywhere. But we do need a world-class centre back, because we haven't had one, since the likes of Vidic and Ferdinand, and we need an experienced centre-back, of course. Well, even though recent reports did say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wasn't actually interested, in getting any defenders in, he was focusing on more attacking additions to the squad, of course, as well. And obviously, as I did currently say, I think, Sanchez is on his way out of Manchester United this summer as well, because he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time, because when he has been given the opportunity, he's looked so restricted, it just looks as though he hasn't been getting that freedom, he hasn't fitted under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system, and he's just been very, very inconsistent, when he has been given the chance, Sanchez. And that just, he's lacked goals and everything. So that just emphasises how ineffective he's been for Manchester United. He's had quite a few injuries as well. He's got a knee injury now, of course, as well. He's well Premier League proven. And, he was playing to the highest level, when he was at Arsenal. But he's just been very, very disappointing, at Manchester United. And I think Solskjaer's lost faith in him. He's lost trustworthy in him. Obviously, substantial wages is obviously going to be a problem to find a buyer for him this summer, of course, as well. So we may consider loaning him out, or, unless Sanchez, is willing to take some kind of wage cut or something like that as well. But he is age 30 now, he has lost that yard of pace, of course, as well. But players are definitely going to be on the way out of Manchester United this summer as well. But the big breaking news, guys, I have actually, been updating you on, lately, and, there's more reports now coming out about it, is in relation to Paul Pogba. Could there be a change of scenario now of Paul Pogba's decision, that Solskjaer now has got the Manchester United job full-time, of course, as well. But there has been a lot of reports and speculation going on, reports have been coming out from Spain, that I heard about this last week as well, that reportedly, Paul Pogba reportedly wants to leave Manchester United, so he's made a decision and reportedly wants to leave Manchester United this summer, and I think he's pushing for the move for Real Madrid, is Paul Pogba, of course, because obviously Zinedine Zidane's obviously planning for the investment at Real Madrid this summer. I think Florentino Perez, is going to give him around £300 million spending spree to spend this summer in that Real Madrid team, and I think he's identified quite a few targets as Zinedine Zidane. He's obviously got a contract with Madrid till 2022. This is his second spell now in charge of Real Madrid, so he's obviously looking to bring the glory days back to Madrid as well. But I think Paul Pogba is keen on making a move to Real Madrid, of course, as well. His agent Riley Ola has been in the process of finding, Paul Pogba a new club. Of course, Manchester United are keen. Manchester United reportedly, will reject any offers, if they do come for Pogba this summer. So Man United won't let him go this summer, reportedly. In the process, he's still under contract with Manchester United till 2021. Is Paul Pogba as well. He's under contract with Manchester United till 2021. But in the process, reports are now saying that reportedly Paul Pogba has reportedly turned down a contract offer from Manchester United, reportedly as well. And of course, reports are saying that reportedly Paul Pogba is demanding an annual wage of around 14 million if he is to join Real Madrid, reportedly. So this potentially would make him the highest paid player at Real Madrid, of course, as well. So that's the annual wage he's demanding if he is to join Real Madrid, Paul Pogba, of course. Well, I think, obviously Paul Pogba has obviously, been talking a lot about Real Madrid. He dreams of playing for them. He's obviously, praised Zinedine Zidane. He admits playing for Zinedine Zidane, would be a dream, and all this. And he says they're one of the biggest clubs in the world. And he mentioned like Real Madrid's a dream for anyone, of course. Well, so that just indicates basically he's not planning, he's not intending on spending the rest of his playing career in England, of course, as well. Now reports are coming out about it saying that Real Madrid are preparing to put a bid in of around £125 million for Paul Pogba, of course, as well. But there's also been talks about him making a return, possibly, to Juventus, as well. Obviously, that's his former club, of course, as well. Where he did have 4 good years, Paul Pogba, as well. But obviously, Manchester United paid £89 million for him 3 years ago, of course, as well. We've seen the best of him now, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in. He enjoyed a difficult time, when Jose Mourinho was here, Paul Pogba, because obviously he wasn't playing a lot. Paul Pogba had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho, of course, as well. So now reports are coming out saying that Real Madrid are preparing to put £125 million in for Paul Pogba. Reportedly now reports are saying that Paul Pogba does want to make the move to Real Madrid. Real Madrid reportedly are emerged as the front runners to get him this summer. There were talks last year that Barcelona would interest him. I think Real Madrid, were interested in getting, Paul Pogba back in 2016, of course, as well. But if Man United do decide to put him up for sale, obviously it's going to cost probably Real Madrid more than £125 million. But I don't think Man United, will let Paul Pogba go, of course, because he's been one of our most influential players, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in, of course, as well. So Real Madrid are heavily linked with Paul Pogba, as well. Obviously, the future is still uncertain, with Ander Herrera, of course, as well. And he's been very, very consistent as a Manchester United player, of course, as well as Ander Herrera, as we all know, as well. And he's been playing really, really well as Ander Herrera. He's been playing really, really well as Ander Herrera, as we all know, especially since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming. And this is what his 5th season now in the process with Manchester United. Is Ander Herrera's, of course. This is 5th season now in the process. And I think he did admit, PSG's transfer interest, was logical and all that. And I think Ander Herrera's future is up in the air at the moment. So I think he's unsure, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, reports are still saying that Manchester United are in talks, of getting Ander Herrera a new contract at Manchester United as well. Obviously, he comes to an end of his contract at the end of the season, of course, as well. But recent reports are coming out saying that PSG had expressed an interest. PSG are looking for someone, to partner alongside Marco Verratti in their midfield, of course, as well. And it did say PSG willing to offer him around £150,000 a week, plus a 3-year deal, of course, as well. And it also said that Arsenal have also showed an interest in Ander Herrera, of course, as well. But I think, recent reports did say he was keen on signing a contract extension with Man United and he wanted to stay at Man United. Some reports did mention that, he was close to joining Paris Saint-Germain, of course, as well. But he's really, really improved since Solskjaer's coming. He's playing more regular. He's fitting in that midfield trio very, very well. His defensive capabilities are looking very, very good. He's breaking up the play very, very well indeed. So he is an essential player for Manchester United. He's Ander Herrera, of course, as well. But at the moment, his future remains uncertain with Manchester United, of course. Does Ander Herrera's, as we all know. I also think Damian's on his way out of the club as well. Probably maybe this summer because he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Manchester United. Just also, recovered from injury as well as Matteo Darmian, of course, as well. But he's enjoyed a difficult time here. Could he possibly, leave Manchester United this summer as well? But we do know that obviously there's still some contract renewals to sort out at Manchester United, as we all know. Hopefully somewhere online we could come to an agreement of getting Marcus Rashford a new contract at Manchester United, of course. course. And I think Man United have been in talks, of getting him a new 5-year deal at the club, Marcus Rashford. Reports were saying, if talks do continue to persist to drag on, that reportedly Man United will trigger a 1-year extension on his current contract, reportedly. Reportedly, we've been in talks of getting him a new 5-year deal worth around £160,000 a week, or is it £180,000 a week, something like that as well. But he deserves it, based on his fantastic performance. He's a very, very consistent player, still very, very young, indeed, still got a lot of years ahead of him, As I said, Marcus Rashford looks very, very effective when he's playing through the middle centrally, can play out wide, but looks more effective centrally. Don't think he's been playing to his potential best, since he's recovered from that ankle injury, that he sustained against Liverpool, of course, as well. But he still remains under contract here till 2020, of course, does Marcus Rashford as well. But he will remain loyal to Manchester United. He won't leave Manchester United, of course, not at this moment in time. Anyway, he's been a United player since the age of 7, progressing up the ranks, being in the senior squad with us, since 2016, of course, as well. So potentially, hopefully somewhere online we could come to an agreement of getting him a new contract. You've got De Gea as well. I think De Gea, will stay at Manchester United, and I think he will. He wants to have a long. He wants to. I think his long-term future is at Manchester United. Is David De Gea. He's obviously so far already had a long tenure here. Of course, this is what his 7th, 8th season now in the process with Manchester United. Reports are coming out saying that Real Madrid are set to revive their interest now that Zinedine Zidane's there now. But potentially, I think David De Gea wants to stay at Manchester United. He wants to remain loyal at Manchester United, and he's grown, developed, and flourished fantastically well. Obviously, we still know he's under contract here till 2020. He's David De Gea, of course, as well. Recent reports did say Manchester United were in talks over a new £350,000 a week deal for De Gea. Recent reports did say De Gea was demanding he wanted to be the highest paid player alongside Alexis Sanchez at Manchester United, of course, as well. But David De Gea has made over 300 appearances in all competitions, of course, as we all know. I think he's made about 100 Premier League clean sheets, which is good as well. He's obviously won everything here domestically as well, as David De Gea, in terms of silverware. He's won the Club's Player of the Year 4 out of 5 seasons, of course, as well. And he has been here since the Alex Ferguson era as well. He's potentially the best goalkeeper in the world. So hopefully somewhere online we can come to an agreement of getting him a new contract, of course. Man United have been in talks of getting him a new contract as well. But as I was saying, other targets, as I did say, Man United have, also been interesting. We know Napoli's Koulibaly, Man United have, like being long admirers of Koulibaly. And I did say we need someone who can partner alongside, Victor Lindelof in our back line. Because obviously, guys, as I did currently say, we need someone who can partner alongside Victor Lindelof. Because I did say the future's uncertain of Eric Bailly. Because Bailly's been in and out of the team this season for Manchester United. Even though I still highly rate Eric Bailly, he's been in and out of the team this season for Manchester United. So his future's uncertain. You've obviously got Chris, obviously Phil Jones's future is also uncertain as well with Manchester United, and mainly he has been going with Smalling and Victor Lindelof as a centre back partnership, and they have blended in fantastically well together. But as I did say, guys, we need someone that can partner alongside Victor Lindelof, and Koulibaly, would be fantastic indeed. Recent reports did say, Manchester United have been informed that Koulibaly, Manchester United have been informed, that Napoli would want around at least £130 million if Napoli were willing to do any business for Koulibaly this summer, of course, as well. Obviously, demanding that they want around £130 million. Manchester United have been long admirers of Koulibaly. We had 3 bids turned down for him in January. The recent one was £95 million. Obviously, we linked to him last summer as well. But, I do really, really like Koulibaly. He addressed our defensive deficiencies fantastically well. He's good in the air. He shows that ability to play out from the back. His defensive capabilities are very, very good. He's still under contract with Napoli till 2023. Napoli paid around, £7 million for him, Jenk. So he's grown, developed, and flourished, fantastically well indeed. So it may not be Man United may not go in for him now in the summer. Maybe Napoli may say now he's not for sale. Of course, I think what Carlo Ancelotti is basically come out and said. But his performance under Ancelotti being good, his performance under Sarri were good as well. But it will take staggering amounts of money if Manchester United have got any chances of landing Koulibaly this summer, of course, as well. But he's been heavily linked with a move to Manchester United, of course. And we do obviously want someone, that can partner alongside Victor Lindelof, of course, as well. But he is an experienced centre-back. He's, 27 years of age. He's still got a lot of years, ahead of him, of course. But he does play to the highest level. And it would be good for him, to come and experience the Premier League, of course, as well. And obviously, if we got him, he'd make him the most expensive defender in world football. But, obviously, we're eyeing out now. There's other alternative options, that Manchester United are eyeing out now, even though Koulibaly has actually potentially been a priority, of course. So I think we're now focusing more on getting Aaron Wan-Bissaka, obviously Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Declan Rice and Jadon Sancho. So they're the targets now Manchester United are more or less, focusing on now, of course, as well. And we do know, there's been talks, about Leicester City's Harry Maguire, of course. He's also English. He's, 26 years of age. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him, of course, as well. And I've been impressed with him as a Leicester player, to be quite honest with you. But again, he's going to cost quite a bit of money. Man United we're going to have to break our transfer record, to get the pursuit of Harry Maguire. Reports are saying that Leicester have risen up the price tag. Reportedly, if we've got any chance of getting Harry Maguire this summer, Man United are going to have to pay around in the region of around £90 million to potentially maybe convince Leicester to sanction him off this summer, of course, as well. And he was talking about before was Harry Maguire, about his ambitions, to play in Champions League football, play to the highest level, go to a team that's capable of winning trophies, go to a team that's capable of challenging for trophies, and all this. And obviously Manchester United, are capable of doubling, Harry Maguire's wages, of course, as well. He's got a deal. He's got a contract with Leicester till 2023. He signed a 5-year deal last summer with Leicester. I think was it last season with Leicester as well. Harry Maguire. But of course, Manchester United have also showed an interest in him, and he's been at Leicester now a couple of seasons now, as we all know as well. But there's also been talks about him going on as well in the media. And obviously, there's we know the rumours do continue, to persist about, Philippe Coutinho, from Barcelona, but he's not a priority for Manchester United, even though Manchester United back in January, held negotiations with Coutinho's representative. He has actually been linked to a move to Old Trafford as Coutinho, but he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time in Spain, as we all know. He's been in Spain, just over a year now, and he's been very inconsistent when he has been given the chance, but he hasn't been getting that game time, that he would have liked, Philippe Coutinho, as we all know. I think he's still got a long contract with Barcelona. He's the third most expensive player of all time as well, because Barcelona, I think, paid about 142 or was it 143 million pounds to him from Liverpool in January of last year, of course, as well. But there's been speculation that he could possibly leave Barcelona this summer, and also, as we all know, I think he's keen on making a return to the Premier League, because don't forget, he did have 5 great years with Liverpool. He grew, developed and flourished fantastically well. The Brazilian, he's 26, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him, to be quite honest. He's mainly an attacking mid, but he can actually operate as a winner as well, can Philippe Coutinho, but potentially wouldn't want him at Manchester United. I don't think Manchester United are keen on signing Coutinho anywhere, but we still know that the rumours do continue to persist, and I think he's considering leaving Barcelona this summer as well as Coutinho. But obviously Barcelona will not, invest, they will not recoup the, the 142 million pounds they initially paid for him, of course, as well. And, another potential Manchester United, player, another player, that Manchester United have also been interested in as well is obviously he's another English player. He's a wonder kid. He's obviously, Callum Hudson-Odoi. And I have actually, been giving you an update about him on a regular basis, because recent reports have been coming out of the media saying that reportedly Manchester United have entered the race for Callum Hudson-Odoi, because obviously back in the January transfer window, as we all currently know, it was Bayern Munich's top priority. It's likely Bayern Munich will revive their interest this summer, of course, as well, even though they may find it hard to come to an agreement with Chelsea, because obviously Chelsea don't want to sell him. Bayern Munich, I think, had a host of bids, turned down for Callum Hudson-Odoi from Chelsea, back in the January window as well. Bayern Munich must have had about 3 or 4 bids turned down. He did say Bayern Munich willing to offer him the number 10 shirt as well, Callum Hudson-Odoi. But Callum Hudson-Odoi is only 18 years of age. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents as well. At Chelsea, he has got strong reservations about his game time in the league, because he's yet to start a Premier League game this season under Maurizio Sarri. Of course, Callum Hudson-Odoi. Of course, I think Bayern Munich are still the front runners, to get Callum Hudson-Odoi in. He's only 18 years of age. He's mainly a winner, but he can play as a forward as well. It's also said Borussia Dortmund have been interested. Manchester United, as I said, have been interested. And also, too, Liverpool have been interested in him as well, because reports have been saying that Liverpool have reportedly held negotiations with Callum Hudson-Odoi's current agent, of course, as well, over potential summer transfer, of course, as well. Callum Hudson-Odoi is still under contract till the summer of 2020 with Chelsea, of course. Now reports are saying that Chelsea are reportedly willing to offer him a new contract worth around £100,000 a week, to try and convince him to stay at Chelsea. I think Callum Hudson-Odoi still wants to leave Chelsea, of course, but I think Chelsea are reluctant to let him leave, because obviously, especially Chelsea have got a transfer ban, haven't they? And they can't do any transfer activity, for 2 windows, of course, as well. Chelsea, they can't do any transfer activity this summer. They can't do any transfer activity in the next January window, so they can't do any transfer activity until the summer of 2020. FIFA give them this transfer ban. They have appealed against the decision and all that as well. But Chelsea wouldn't want to lose Callum Hudson-Odoi, of course, as well. But I still think he wants to leave Chelsea, of course, as well. But a few teams have expressed their interest in him as well. So his name's been mentioned. But as I did currently say, guys, obviously a big game tomorrow for Manchester United at Old Trafford, of course, against Watford. Watford sitting 8th in the league, of course. Obviously, it's important that we get back to winning ways, so we can get that momentum back, of course, as well. Obviously, as I did say, this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 20th match now, of course, in all competitions. This is his first game in charge as permanent Manchester United boss, of course, as well. So it is very, very essential, that Manchester United, can get 3 points tomorrow. But I'm not going to underestimate Watford. They've had a good season this season, sitting 8th in the league. Javier Gracie seems to have done an okay job with them. They're in the FA Cup semi-finals and all that as well, Watford. So potentially it is essential that we do, obviously, get that winner tomorrow against Watford, so we can keep our top 4 ambitions alive and all that, because there's quite a few teams, going for that top 4, of course. The good news is, that 8 players, I think it's about 8 players, but a host of players are set to return for Manchester United, of course, as well, which is very, very good indeed. And obviously, we know it's not televised tomorrow, so I'll have to, get a glimpse of the highlights. Then I'll, give you my match reaction, of course, as well on that. Give you my match reaction on that as well. But as I did currently say, as the main headline of this video is, definitely Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right man for Manchester United, of course, as well. So this does mean now it's a 3-year deal. Of course, his annual wage is $7.5 million. It's half of them what currently Jose Mourinho was earning. But the good news is he's got a big pay rise compared to what he was on at Mold. He's obviously on more than Maurizio Sarri at Chelsea, Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, Unai Emery at Arsenal, of course, as well. And he deserves the job. The board are going to back him. He's going to get around £200 million spent this summer. Of course, now we're in the process of trying to hire a director of football to come to Manchester United, of course, as well. We do expect departures in this summer, of course, as well. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think he wants about 3 or 4 players. He wants to bring a right back to Manchester United. He wants to definitely, his priorities to get a right winner in, of course. Well, keen on bringing a midfielder in, especially if Herrera, does end up leaving Manchester United this summer. But now with Solskjaer appointed full time, could be a different scenario, of course. Well, on the left-hand side, I think Manchester United are definitely okay. So there's no investment needed on that left-hand side, because I think the left-hand side were actually very, very good. That's where the majority of the attack is coming from, that left-hand side, of course, as well. But as I did update you, with the news about Paul Pogba, it's looking, very, very likely that he's intending on going to Madrid in the summer. Man United won't let him leave, though, but obviously Paul Pogba has obviously, the recent comments he said about Real Madrid, and I think he's showing desire that he wants to actually go to Real Madrid because he's dreaming of playing for them. He's happy at the moment at Manchester United, as he did insist, but obviously he's not planning his long-term future now in England, of course, as well. I think he wants a new challenge. His agent, Raiola, is in the process of finding him a new club as well, and reports are coming out saying that Real Madrid are preparing a £125 million bid for him this summer, of course, as well. So there's been a lot of talks going on about it. I heard the rumours going on last week about as well. There's been possible talks that he could potentially make a return back to Italy, to Juventus, as well, as they have been currently hearing in the process of that. But yeah, with performances have been good on Solskjaer, the results have been good. We've had a 3-month or so good period. He's working well with the coaches, the staff, and the players, and all that as well. And he's lifted the atmosphere at Manchester United, as we all know. He's restored Alex Ferguson's spirit levels. He's following Alex Ferguson's philosophy. And this attacking this brand of football is Alex Ferguson's brand of football. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has brought that brand of football back to Manchester United, as we all know, as well. So now the 4th permanent manager, of course, since Alex Ferguson retired, as we all know. But we do know since Ferguson retired, we've had different managers with different philosophies. It hasn't worked out, of course, and all that. Obviously now, Solskjaer's plan is now that he's got the job on a full-time basis to get us back being a competitive elite-level football club, get us back challenging for trophies and winning trophies, of course, as well, because we actually haven't won any silverware since 2017 when we won the Europa League against, was it Ajax? Of course, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, of course, as well. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing, as always. I will be back with some more live videos very, very soon. Of course, if anything more updates. So take care. God bless, guys, and